evening. Yes, we played the long intro because we had to get our caffeine and whatever the heck she's eating over there.
It's a mint for my tummy.
Rude to sit there and eat during the live
It's
stream.
a mint for my tummy. I'm not just eating for the sake of eating.
Hello, Ann. Hello, Lou Ann. Hello, Brandy. I saw, who else did I see up there? Rhonda, Kathy, Michelle, Susan, David. How's everyone doing? Colette, Lewis. How's everyone tonight?
Hey, Rhonda.
Cheryl, how are you?
Hey,
Hey, Kathy. Lauren, how are you? Karen, Rosa. Yeah, so it's been a minute, as the kids say, since we've been on live, actually talking and not doing something investigation wise. Yes, we know you are at work, but do your employers know you're at work, Colette? That's the question. Hello, Lisa. Randy, how are you? Hope you get better soon, Chris. She's just suck it up. Hello, Brandy from North Carolina. Brandy's from North Carolina.
Oh, hello.
So, God, it's been crazy.
Oh, it's our first night shift. Good luck.
Oh, okay. John McGinnis, my ex-friend. How are you?
Hey,
Teresa, how you doing? So, I guess I'll start with Centenary College and that whole thing. We did do it live, which was Saturday night, and bad thunderstorm, as you guys could see what was going on there. Oh yeah, Salinas is Arizona. Bad thunderstorm going on, lightning, thunder. Wi-Fi was cutting out here and there, and after coming home and kind of skimming through the live stream on the way home, because it took us a good hour and a half or more in the rain to get home, and skimming through the live stream, I saw just things that I didn't like as far as production. I know. Good evening, Carrie. Christopher, how are you? And I did decide to go back Sunday morning and just do a re-edit of the whole thing and cut out the beginning where the lights were on and we were up in the lounging area or whatever the heck it's called. Hey, Laura, how are you? And I cut out a lot of the fat. No, we didn't weather or melt. But I decided to cut out a lot of the fat and just kind of leave in the parts where kind of stuff was happening and show a little bit of the investigation around the stuff that was happening and just take down the other one, re-release the edited version, because I didn't really, I know it's part of investigating, and when you do it live and you're in such a big building where you have to go from area to area, space to space.
Yeah.
It takes time to.
And there was a lot of noise in that room where the lights were on.
Hello, Mario.
It takes very loud.
Yeah, it does take time to put everything together, move everything from one location to another, walk to the location, and maybe first time with you guys. Very interesting. Oh, thank you, Brandy. Hope you enjoyed it. You're going to want to watch tomorrow night, because tomorrow night we'll actually be doing something. Tonight is just going to be the two of us on a couch. I think that's the name of our show, the two of us on a couch. But anyway, so I wanted to go back and re-edit it because I'm a perfectionist when it comes to certain things, and that first 20 minutes, half hour was just painful for me to be part of and then to watch. And when we couldn't find out where the lights. So usually security comes when we were in there before, and they shut off all the lights before we get there in different areas. It didn't happen this time. We're actually late getting into the building.
And that room didn't have a typical where you just go over and you do it.
No, it wasn't just light switches.
It's just light switches. That wasn't the problem. There's a specialty thing because that stays on all the time for safety.
So we looked ourselves. We couldn't find it. We shouldn't have done that while we were live. And it just made the whole thing, I don't know. I didn't like it. I didn't enjoy it.
I don't think any of us did.
And when watching it and being part of it, I was just like, hey, Susan. Hey, Mark. I was just like, you know what? Let's just take it down, re-edit it, and re-release it. Because I know people in the college are going to watch it too. People that are from the college, the faculty are going to watch it. And I'd like to put our best foot forward with them. So rather than have them see 30 minutes of us with the lights on and trying to find switches, I just re-aired it. But that Yeah, that was through the. I think I showed you guys what door that was, but that was really the only cool thing that happened in that area. Do you like having help your what? Do you like having help on your investigation, or do you like it when it's just? Um, well, that's not really help. There are four of us.
Yeah.
It's me, Chris, Tanya, and Kenny. So they're not. They're part of New Jersey Paranormal. They have been for many many years. You guys see a lot of the two of us because we're together. We live together. This is our home. We're on our couch. And when we do the creeper, it's usually just the two of us. So, but yeah, I mean, Tanya and Kenny do all of the events with us and
Yep.
most live streams that are outside of the creeper gallery. But anyway, that was really cool through the window. But I wanted to, I re-edited it. So I was watching a lot of it. And the cool thing about was rewatching it, I caught some EVPs that I didn't hear being there.
Really cool too.
And I also heard some stuff on the spirit box that I didn't hear in the cathedral at the time when I was able to play it back, play it back, play it back. So there's some good stuff in there that you may have missed during the live,
Yeah.
which might be a little better. But I went through just the one section for TikTok and for Instagram where we're in the little theater, which is where we went from the lights on to the little theater. I like it when the Queen of NJP is there. Do we have a queen? Woo-hoo. I know I'm the king. Is she the queen? Anyway, so we went to the little theater and I was able to edit that whole entire block on for TikTok and Instagram. And I edited it down to 2 minutes because like the TV shows, yeah, that's what I'm getting to, Kathy. Like the TV shows, I can edit it and storyboard it, if you want to call it that, in a way that kind of makes sense to what you're watching and the narrative of the whole entire quote unquote segment, as opposed to just watching it and then watch these things play out 1 minute in, 10 minutes in, 15, 25 minutes. That whole entire area, before we even got to the back, which I thought, because I haven't been in there, that the back was more active, which is why we went back there right away. But that front part, I didn't expect the things that were happening there. And I edited that 2-minute montage piece to show that first the static dome went off on the stage in one area, which was in the front of the stage from where Tanya and I were. Chris and Kenny were down by the seats.
Yeah.
And they were kind of watching and filming from down there up into the stage. So the static dome went off first in one particular area, and then Kenny, you're the queen, they said.
Of course I am.
Well,
You're the only one that questioned it.
I don't know about that. I got to think about that one.
King is going to get conged.
So, but the static dome was going off in one particular area. There's Nicole and Nikki.
Hey.
So the dome was going off there, little unbeknownst to Tanya and I, which is why in the clip you hear us still talking. They were mapping a figure on the SLS camera of this section below the stage.
Literally right underneath where that dome was lighting up. And that is, I mean, my brain just went, it's just mind.
But explain that area. It wasn't just a little cubby hole.
You have up on stage and, the steps that go up on stage, and then you have your orchestra pit. So there was an orchestra pit that was down below. And then below the orchestra, when you walked, and I did go down there, you go down in there, and then underneath it, it's all open to a crawl space that goes completely under the stage itself. And I think the amazing part of it was that the dome went off on the stage. And as soon as that dome went off, I was kind of closer to the stage, and Kenny was off to the side, and he goes, "Oh my God, there's a figure." And so I ran over to try to capture it so everybody could see it on the live. And as I'm looking I said, "Oh my God, it's literally right underneath where the dome is. It's responding from underneath the stage, like it's insulating itself. It didn't want to come out, but it let itself be known that way." And then they were having activity that started happening on the stage in the background because they didn't realize we all got excited about what was going on because there was activity behind, John and Tanya on the stage, and there was activity happening out where we were. So we were overlapping each other with activity, which was, I mean, I think we all kind of got excited and like we were all involved in what we were doing. You didn't realize what was going on down here, and we were just catching little bits of what was going up on stage with John and Tanya. So there was a lot of activity, and that real quick moment hit that kept going, that it was like,
April. Hello, April. Hello, Stephen. Kevin, my man. How are you? How's everyone doing? We're talking about the Centenary University. I keep wanting to call it college. Centenary University investigation Saturday night. First ever that we were able to do there, where we kind of went where we wanted to go. They allowed us, again, they opened the door, hey, Patricia, and they let us just wander about. Very, very cool building. Very, very cool building. Creepy, creepy vibe when you're walking around there by yourself. There were times where, I'll get back to the little theater in a minute, but there were times where somebody would always just take off, and I'm not good. I'm good with GPS. I'm really good with GPS navigating, but navigating through places I've only been through maybe once or twice, and I haven't been throughout. I'm not real good with that. I get lost down hallways and I lose my way. Whereas this one is like Rain Man when it comes to following directions and finding her way back and around. And she like took off, and I'm there with my hand full of whatever I'm carrying. And I'm like, you see it in the video, and I cut all that too. I'm walking down this one common area, and I'm like, you hear the door, but you don't see me pushing it because I have the camera. But I'm like, not that door, not that door. And then I went to like door number 3, and I'm like, okay, this looks familiar. Keep going that way. And that's why Kenny and Tanya got to the little theater
for you,
when I did,
you were trying to
and I actually
way.
left way before them. And I got there literally. I walked in and I hear them coming in the other door, and I'm like, thank God I got there.
I was already up on stage putting out the stuff.
But again, back to what Chris was saying. So here we are on the stage, and then there's this other area that we didn't know about, having been there 2 other times. Where, exactly, or ribbons or something, and or like glow sticks. Just break them and put them.
I'll get you one of those cat lights with a laser. Follow the laser.
But underneath is this whole section that runs the width of the stage. That's underneath that we didn't even know about, and the figure is there, just kind of like she said, hiding underneath there. So to her credit, and I would give her all the credit in the world for this, she is looking down in that area, and where the figure was, there were balloons, all different colors, red, blue, whatever. And there was one clear balloon that, again, to her credit, she noticed was different than the others that were down there.
And it was right by where he was.
So she took that balloon that was by the person sitting there, and she put it up on the stage, and we were encouraging whoever it was to move the balloon, to kick the balloon, whatever. Nothing happened when we were actually there. And then we went back behind the stage area, which again, I've interacted with a female back there many, many, many times. We'll get into that area later, but there was a man this time. We didn't expect that. We didn't know who he was. But to go back to the little theater in the front, she went out to start collecting.
I was collecting all of the equipment, and I was picking it and put it in the baskets, getting ready. And you know when something's not right, but it takes you a minute, because my focus was on picking up the equipment and making sure I could find all of the things we'd laid out. And as I got finished putting it in, it dawned on me, wait a minute, I know what's missing. What happened to the balloon? And I thought, well, maybe it drifted across the stage behind the curtain or something. And I'm looking all over this big stage. And, there's curtain levels and there's different drops and stuff. So I'm looking, I can't find it. So something made me look back over in the orchestra area. And there it was, right back to where I had found it to begin with. And that freaked me out, because
somebody put it back.
He's like, that's mine. I want it back. And he took it back.
Yeah. Or this is where it was.
You got it from there. You
didn't put it back where you found it.
And so it was like it clicked the missing piece. And I went right back to them where they were doing like, you're not going to believe this, you know.
No, Centenary University is in Hackettstown, New Jersey, which is way, way north from where we live. And they've been featured in like Weird New Jersey, and you know, there are rumors of that building being active. And everybody who kind of knows that building knows the story of Tilly. If you don't, you could look it up.
Yeah.
Tilly was someone who worked in the kitchen,
Hi,
and
Naomi.
she left to go out one night, and apparently the building was locked and she was murdered. They found her body behind that building that we were in. And again, you could Google this yourself and look up the whole article. So people, the story of Tilly is very well known in that building, in that area. But
there's more.
There's definitely more
there's
to
more.
that building than if she is there than just Tilly. We've, again, man's voice, not only there, but in the cathedral as well. So that's what I tell everyone. Yeah, there is a proven documented death associated with that building. Fact. No doubt about it. Fact. But there may be other people who are associated with the building, former students, faculty, whatever, who are also
Absolutely.
and around that entire. It's a big building.
Huge.
And that cathedral alone, I believe, has different energy. And the weird thing about the theater, to go back to the theater, was, when you walk into the theater, I was kind of filming it. It's not a big theater. It's a relatively small theater. You walk from the back door in towards the stage. Light, easy feeling. You know, nothing malicious or out of sorts or at all. But when you get back behind that curtain and you go to the back area, it's like someone throws a heavy energy blanket on you.
Yeah.
It's heavy. It weighs you down. And I kept commenting that the second I walked back there with Tanya, initially I had a headache. As soon as I walked back there and I walked back to the front, I got a really, really bad headache that wouldn't leave me for a while. And that was just the little theater. You know, again, if we could have, that area where we started is an active. Tilly actually worked in the kitchen that was next to where we started. And Chris kind of saw something in the window in that area.
Yeah, I saw a woman with brown hair. I have no idea what Tilly or anybody looks like. All I know is that I literally thought that maybe someone, that door's locked. There's an office right there. That's what it is. I think John showed everybody. That door's locked. And it's just like all of a sudden, I didn't see like a mist, or it was a full-blown person with long dark hair that literally walked right past the window. And that's what I was reacting to.
You had your share of that. We'll get into that though. But that area is active. You know, Tanya's had some good experiences there as well. So ideally we would have started there and the lights would have been out and we would have given that our best go, knowing that the kitchen was on the opposite side of the wall and we were in a different area. We would have tried our best there, but lights on, it just, our equipment, you can't see it. EVPs were difficult because of the thunder and the rain. So we got out of there in a hurry. So let's go find where it's dark and a little more inside of the building, which the theater is. You got to go down the stairs, down a hall, and you're kind of in further. But like I said, walking in the theater, very light. Then you get to the back, it's a heavier energy. And the times that I had been there, now I had been there. Hey, what's up, Jay? The times I had been there, someone made what was that before? We may have had before. Yeah, I always say that too about the land, Susan. Always. Never know. I'm a big proponent of. There are 20-year-old houses that are haunted, and it has nothing to do with the new structure that's there. It has to do with whatever was there before. But getting into the back area, I'd been there before with the 3 previous events that we did. Was Girl Scouts. There were benefits. That's how we came to know Centenary University and work with them.
Yeah.
And I've been in that area the last 2 times.
Yep.
Yeah, the last 2 times, and backstage. And a female, I said it again, you jinx yourself when you say things. That's why I should know better, because I'm the most superstitious person on the planet. And I know if you put something out there like this is the greatest spot in the building, I always have activity here. That's it. You just turn the off switch. So back there with the young females, and again, the young females may have something to do with it. Out of, I would say 15, 20 EVP sessions, questions, I got 10 EVPs from a female.
And that's not
talking
usual.
to me.
Anyone that does this or knows it, that's not
And
usual.
she was talking, and she said something happened to her in that area, and she was going on and on and on, telling us different things. But again, I wasn't asking all the questions. The young females were.
Yep.
So I kind of was prepared for that, but there wasn't as much interaction back there as we normally get. The person talking was a man, and he had a gravelly voice. And that was surprising to me because,
you
again,
never got that before.
No, I'm thinking, I've been here 3 times now. Who the heck are you, and where did you come from?
The funny thing is that now you had 2 males back there and then 2 females. You changed the dynamics where before, hi Sharon, it changed the dynamics of the energy back there.
But again, I like it when that happens because I like being surprised. So
we
familiarity to me is like,
we were surprised.
Yeah, like again, Liberty Hall is the best example that I could give. Liberty Hall, in the room where Captain John Phillips' body was laid out, which was his bedroom, he's there. If you're going to talk to anybody in that room ever, Captain John. That is it. Captain John. I have yet to go in that room, and I've been in there many times and come across a child spirit or a woman or a female or anything, because he is there.
Yeah.
All the time. So being in that area now twice, and this being my 3rd time, I was like, whoa.
Luann thinks it's because of the thunderstorm.
It could be. I was like, who the heck is this, and where did they come from, and why did they follow us back there, or why are they hanging out there now? Now, again, I can make the leap if I wanted to, and I won't do it, but I could and say whoever was back there could have had something to do with whatever the person who I was originally talking to, what they were talking about, whatever happened.
But you don't. Yeah,
I don't know that. That would be
that's an assumption.
Totally assumption from me. But that person was there, had a very raspy, growly voice. And
what about the dragging and the bangs that were happening back there, like on the stairs?
And yeah, that was up top and behind us in that whole section there. I've had, and again, it was so cool because, these are young females between 14 and 16.
Yep.
And they were into the paranormal stuff, and they're there trying to get out with us. And there's chairs. I pointed them out in the video. They have them hanging up on the top layer, the top floor there. And like a movie, we would look up and see them rocking. And I was so hoping to capture that. But
I'm glad we didn't.
That was pretty cool, being there and being able to share some of that. And again, we knew we were on a tight time constraint, and we knew we had different areas that we would have liked to have gotten to. And anybody who does this, hey Cheryl, knows that when the stuff starts happening, you get bogged down. You don't want to leave. You don't want to just say,
no, when you finally make contact, you actually want to explore that.
Voices are coming. Let's leave.
Yeah. Okay, we're getting something. Bye.
Yeah, sorry.
We got to test out the other areas, but
yeah, it was sticking to that time, and we knew. But I would have liked to explore whoever that was and spend more time in there and try different things. I'm not doing that, Ann. Why would I do that?
That's because he was a captain, but he was a captain in the military.
No, mermaids are real. Why would I ask?
Oh, a captain of a ship? I think she's thinking of captain of a ship. People believe that there's that like with pilots with UFOs that they see.
I understand what you're saying, but I'm not going to ask Captain John if mermaids are real. I want the guy to talk to me more and respect me and think that I'm normal.
Not crazy.
As much normal as I can be.
That's what you think it is?
But you're going to explain to me the history of mermaids.
No.
So, there's a slot of Native American history up in the section of North Jersey. My mom and younger brother lived in Hackettstown before she passed.
That area is very rich.
Native American, the Native Americans were everywhere in Jersey, everywhere. But so again, ideally we would have spent more time. Ideally, we would have done 2 hours there, in the theater to
easily
give it a good go and to try different things from the front of the stage and the back of the stage and under the stage. I mean, that's something going forward that we could try to do again. But we decided, again, the cathedral was a place that the very first place we were told about when we went in there was the cathedral. We're New Jersey guys, had done a tour and an article, and they had been in the cathedral, and a shadow figure came from the altar, or whatever you call it, and came down, and they saw it. So Kenny had been in there previously during the events. I had spent some time in there this last time. Cool place. Very, very weird energy in that place. I personally, and I don't know about you, when I go in there with the lights out and we close those doors, I feel eyes on me, especially from up there.
It's really uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable.
I feel eyes on me from up top. It's almost as if somebody's just.
And you think that walking into the cathedral chapel with the pews and everything, that that you would get a sense of peace, but instead there's a sense of unease. You just can't relax in that space. It's like you said, something's watching you, and not just one. It just seems like the whole energy of the place is just there watching you.
So again, to count the things that happen in that short period of time, Tanya sees a figure move down the side of the pews. I saw crazy, and I loved it because it gets it's just such an adrenaline rush. The REM pod went off up there, and I'm sitting on the 2 steps of the whatever.
You were sitting down by the altar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm looking up when the REM pod went off, and I'm looking up, and I know I saw this. The stained glass window, the lights coming through from the lights on the building or whatever, and I saw a hand, and I can't imitate it because I can't raise my hand all the way, but I saw a hand go up and literally go like that, like almost as if one hand doing that. And I caught it, and I looked, and I referenced it, like, I saw you. Is that you doing that? And there wasn't any more reaction. But then I saw another shadow, and Kenny saw a shadow move across.
Yeah.
There was a lot of weird shadow play in that down section, and there's 2 different levels.
Just like where New Jersey says happens.
Really, really cool. But again, we're not on travel. We don't have cameramen.
Yeah, everywhere.
Filming up and filming down and filming over with super IR. We don't have any of that. We've got a cell phone and flashlights. So I wish, again, we could show that whole thing in IR and see. And catching a shadow figure, it's so quick. You never know when it's going to happen. And when it happens, it just whoop. And then you're like, oh, with your camera, and done. And then Chris saw the thermal image
of a person sitting in a pew,
yeah.
three pews back. So you had the first pew, actually it's the 4th one. You had the first pew, and it's really important that we know where each one are, because especially with the fleur, there's heat signature that's kept, that absorbs where you sit. It will absorb into the wood, and it'll stay there for a little bit. It'll start to dissipate, but it'll still pick up that signature. So you've got the first seat, because you always have to be mapping out things in your mind and in your head when you're doing investigations where everybody is. So the first seat pew was empty. Then the bag with Kenny was sitting there, and then Tanya was sitting right behind Kenny. And in the next pew from where Tanya was where that heat signature was of a person sitting at the end of the pew, like watching what we were doing. And unfortunately we kept trying to show it on the fleur, but the glare from the fleur with the phone, it kept blurring it out. But John did a really cool where he went and he sat in the pew further down to see if it would move or interact with him, and it just stayed right there and it didn't move.
So yeah, that cathedral's pretty cool. I would like to do again the experiment where we're in there alone and just investigate one at a time, or whoever wants to do it. I think being there alone would be a really freaky thing. I
think Colette was right. You're right. We did hear that. It sounded like somebody was sitting down in the pew.
Oh yeah, we heard a couple of bangs. Yeah. We heard it right in front of us. That was when we were leaving.
Yep.
When I said to you, I'm like, did you hear that? It sounded like someone either kicked the pillar or they kicked the pew in front of us. And then we did hear the creak, as if you hear that a lot too. Hey, John Machacha.
Hey, John.
So, and then of course he obviously said purified,
Yeah,
which
that's
was the
crazy,
only
right?
thing it said on the one side there. The static domes were going off a little in the back there.
Yeah, by
So
the old organ.
yeah, the old organ is another trigger type of. We forgot the tripwires, which was my fault trying to grab everything. So ideally, we would have been able to cover more ground with the tripwires. Weren't able to do that,
I think
but
it was still a great night.
I I like the idea of being in, because when I'm in that theater, when we were doing with the Girl Scouts, they're done. We're saying goodbye to everyone. They're thanking us and blah, blah, blah. I then had to go back to the theater to collect all of my equipment. And it's not a good feeling when you're there by yourself after you've been doing what we're doing. It happens at the Sterling Hill Mine. It happens in a lot of different areas where you do feel like, I've spent the better part of 2 4 hours, whatever, interacting with them and trying to get them engaged with people. And now all of a sudden everyone's gone and I'm asking them to kind of
You're defenseless.
just go back in your corner, just do whatever you were doing when I was in here before. We're not doing this anymore. We had people here. We're not.
There's something there that it's not harmful. It's not set, but there's a little bit of an intimidation factor, a little scare factor. Like when we were wrapping it up in the cathedral, I actually went, and it's not that big of a deal. Like I'll go off into places. Going off on my own in the dark is not scary. It's just the stuff I can't see and like freaks me out. You have to go out the door to the left, and then you have to go up these staircases, 2 sets of stairs to go up into a hall to get to the top of the cathedral where there's an overhang theater seating. And those seats drop down. It's not like the pews. They actually are drop down seats like a movie theater. And I went up there okay. I got the REM pod. I got his other piece of equipment. And when I was coming back down, I walked out the double doors, and they're big, heavy doors, and they shut. And all of a sudden, boom, like something banged them again. And I'm thinking, well, maybe when it shut, it bounced.
Right.
And I just wrote it off. That's what happened. That's what I told myself. I'm accepting that. And I start down the stairs. I get down the first set of stairs, and all of a sudden you could hear, because it's the wood floor and then the metal brackets. And when you hit those metal brackets, they make that creak when you go down them. And so all of a sudden, right behind me, 2 times, like someone was walking right behind me, and I'm like, oh, no, 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 no. So I started walking a little faster downstairs, and next thing, a gust of wind, like air. I mean, I don't even know how to describe it. You just feel that energy force. Whoosh, right by me. I ran like heck down those stairs. It scared me so bad. I ran past where I was supposed to turn to get to them, and went down further into the building by myself, by a really creepy area, stopped dead, turned around, and ran back up to find them.
I wish we did have a TV show with cameramen following us, because the moments like her with the balloon, hey guys, you got to see what happened out there. And then coming down from those stairs, she's like, I literally was coming down and something chased me. And we're like,
it
what?
did.
What now?
But the even better part of it is, like, when you come in and you said you feel stupid, you really do feel stupid. Like I even whispered it to John because I didn't want to say it out loud, because I felt embarrassed and stupid for having done that. But then the person that we work with at the college sent me a message. I watched your live. You're not going to. That is exactly what happens to me when I go up and down those stairs. I hate going that area. It happens to me all the time. And her office is down on that floor.
Yeah, she said she felt like someone was
always
following
her down, and like, and it's when something like that happens and you're by yourself and you're second guessing yourself and you're getting freaked out, and then someone says, no, that's what happens to me, and they had no idea until they saw what you went through.
Yeah. And again, another thing with that area, Kenny was filling me in, us in. If you look at that building from the outside, if you look at the picture that we posted or the video, there's the dome. The dome has kind of like a gate, like a fencing around it kind of thing. And those windows, the bottom floor windows that you see in the cathedrals we're panning, are at that dome. That's where, so when Kenny was telling me when he did the event with the Girl Scouts, he saw shadow figures go by the windows, and the windows aren't street level. They're
way up.
second story level. So there's no way anybody was ever walking around out there. And he said that he had seen it and they had seen it and they freaked out when they saw it because the shadow figure went straight. And again, if you know those windows, you know that, you know, the light kind of illuminates so that backdrop to where you could definitely see a shadow figure go
easily
right by there.
Yeah.
And when I saw that hand go up and do that, I was like, what? And your first instinct is go up there, you know, and see if you can see whoever that is. But then you don't want to invade their space either and make them leave. If they're willing to interact and do that from here to there, you want to go with that for a little while to see what they're willing to do. I had to watch it, but I really enjoy your investigation. You were awesome. Thank you, Teresa. Appreciate that. So then, again, now we're always mindful of the time. We have to be when you're doing live streams, and especially when there's a clock on you. You kind of have to say, okay, we still at least want to go to one other place or two other or whatever. And we went to the lounge area first when you first enter the building to the left. Now, I'm one, take me to where people are experiencing stuff, you know?
Well, that hallway is where everybody keeps seeing shadow figures walking back and forth.
Well, I'm like, if we're in an area, and yeah, ideally we could do the whole entire building, but again, we're not ghost hunters or ghost adventures or whatever. We don't have 4 days of 8-hour days where we can go filming, editing. We have 2.5 hours. So ideally, we could cover every hallway and every side room that we saw. Yeah. But like one more area, where you want to go?
Hotspot.
Now, I had known from the first time we ever had a meeting with these people. This one here, Scooby-Doo, how to use the restroom, and the restroom for the ladies' room, the women's room. You have to go down a hallway and down some stairs, and it's down there.
And it's in a little hallway, weird little corner. Yeah.
And she came back up. I'm waiting for her. And she's like, I don't like that bathroom. And I'm like, well, I'm thinking maybe someone made a mess. I think that they did that in the ladies' room. I know in the men's room they do that, but so I was kind of surprised. And then she's like, no, it's just an uncomfortable, heavy, weird feeling in that area.
There's something there that just.
So then we mentioned that to the people that we talked to, and they're like, yeah. People see stuff in that area all the time. And they're, like you said, they had chairs in that little section where people could hang out, and they removed them because people didn't like being over there. They felt uneasy. So in my mind, let's go there, you know? And we go down there, and again, an area where there was no security guards around to turn any lights off for us in that section. It wasn't just switches. So whatever, we're going to make do with whatever we have. The cool thing was that we didn't notice because we never really looked around there. Hey, Brian, was that little door that led underneath.
I knew about that door, but
I didn't know about it. And I was just like, oh, maybe.
No, see, I'm not curious about opening doors.
See, I'm like, maybe, until something comes popping out of there, and you're running like your silhouette is left behind and you're out the door. But I'm like, oh, maybe whatever it is coming from there and hanging out in this area and bothering people that are going.
It looks like when you open that door, just like if you were to go underneath somebody's porch and it's all just like dug out and just it's cobwebby and
so
dirt.
Again, there was some stuff that happened down there. I wish, again, we had more time to do more experiments and do different things, but we were looking at 20 minutes maybe by the time we got down there. So it's literally like, let's go down. Let's see if anything goes off. Let's see if we can get one EVP session in where we hear something or not. And then we had to go. We were right up against it. And, security was going to come back around and tell us, okay, so we did what we could in 2.5 hours, dealing with the first area not being what we thought it would be. Hindsight, we would have totally just gone away from that area and gone to different places. But we thought we were going to find light switches.
We were trying to make it work because that area is a really cool area with what happens there.
But I do think that they will let us back in there.
Yeah.
in a minute. I think they would. And they were really, really cool about it to where they were like, yeah, come, we'll have security let you in and nobody else will be there. You have the run of the building. And again, for an administrative building of a university, that's pretty damn cool. You know what I mean? That they would give us that kind of access to area, and then, or, you know, what areas do you want open? What areas are you going to go in? Just really, really cool to us. And they were excited about what we were doing and what possibly we were going to see or hear. And again, we basically, their claims, we basically validated. We saw the shadow figures. We were interacting with different people in different areas.
We didn't know some of the stuff before we had like coming down those stairs and being chased. Had no idea about that. So to actually have somebody reach out and go, oh my God, that happened to me. The validation of that is pretty remarkable.
These are available on the New Jersey Paranormal Store. If you go on the YouTube page, the Facebook page, it says shop. The hats are there, the t-shirts are there, sweatpants are there, you name it. There's a lot of stuff on the New Jersey Paranormal. We get part of the proceeds for that, but the guy who makes them really deserves most of the proceeds.
Because he's a small business
and
too.
It's print on demand. He basically, does the stuff as you order it. We don't have a warehouse full of this stuff. I wish we did, but that was definitely cool. Definitely one that I remember. Definitely one that I'm looking forward to going and doing again. When we go back there, it'll be May 28th and we'll be with people.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens as far as the energy in the different places when we go back in there. But again, never investigated a university before. Check, and to know that, again, it's active and that people are so open to having us come in there and do what we do and trusting us the way they did. I mean, it kind of speaks volumes to how long we've been doing this and the kind of reputation we have. You know what I mean? That they would just, we're going to open the door. You go in there. And, we could have done anything. We could have put water on the floor and just slippery slide if we wanted to. Next time, maybe. That'd be a cool video. But no, very cool. We appreciate the university and everyone who allowed us to go in there and do that. We spoke to them and they enjoyed it. Like Chris said, they were talking about things that they experienced like what we experienced. So really, really cool. And being the first to go in anywhere is really, really cool. I mean, when we go in there, like I said, nothing better than fresh, untouched snow. And being the first one to put your footprints in there, because that building, all those stories, all the students that we saw the comments from when we were going in there on the different social media platforms, to be able to go in there and just, let's go, man. Turn the lights off and let's just do it. You just never know, and the difference, we got to see the difference between younger people being with us and us old people going in there and doing it. Different, but the same, sort of.
The energy definitely changed. The different responses kind of changed. Something else was communicating with us back in the staging and the changing room there for the costume changes and stuff like that. The makeup room, definitely a whole different interaction with something that we hadn't interacted with before. I think that's what was really unique and different.
Yeah.
And that's why we always say, when you're going into places and you're doing investigations, never make assumptions and automatically assign what it is.
That annoys the shoot out of me. I don't want to curse, but that annoys the out of me, because and we discuss this. We discuss everything before and after, and after we're done investigating.
We do a lot of analyzing.
We go to the Wawa and we talk about what happened in different places and where, and we have discussions, and we're honest with each other. We're open with each other, and we do disagree. Yep. And we agree.
We do.
And I've been back in that area behind the stage twice now, and I've engaged with a female who is very open and honest with a lot of the EVPs. And then Tanya comes back there with me, and that's a female dressing room, and she may not want, and blah blah blah. This went off. This stopped going off with John, and I'm just like, dude, I was in here for hours, literally the last two times, a total of 8 hours. I was in this area. So I know that whoever this is knows me.
Yeah.
I've been in here. So I get it. It makes sense in some ways, but I've kind of been back there. I know the environment, you know? So we go back and forth and we talk about it again. Kenny's the guy who's been in that cathedral more than any of us.
I
So,
have never investigated. That was the first time being able to investigate any of that.
yeah, but I rely on Kenny's experiences first.
Yep.
You know, and what he's told me
Yep.
that others have experienced there. And I use that as, okay, you kind of fill me in on what you got, and we'll go with that and see if we can add to that, or let's try something different and new, you know? But it's all part of being 4 different people doing the same thing. You want that. You don't ever want a group think mentality. You want people to say, let's try that. Or how about if we did it this way? You know?
Yeah.
Because that's when the balloon. I never, ever, ever would have taken a balloon out of there and put it on that stage. Never. I wouldn't have. I know me. You know? So, but again, bam, it worked.
Yeah. And then the fact that it took it back. Like when
But
we
that's
did
what
it,
I mean.
like,
We never would have had that experience.
No.
Never.
No. That one took me by surprise.
Yeah. Brian, you're going there in June. Jay's going to be there in May.
Well, thank you,
Chris is a
Patricia.
keeper. I'm sure he's still out on that one, Patricia.
He keeps threatening to
Jury's
trade me.
on that one. But no, it was a good time, good investigation. Can't wait to go back there. Tomorrow night, I am planning on going to the Creeper Gallery. I won't speak for anybody else because you never know if they want to or they don't want to. But I'm up for it, and I've got. I was tired. Like last week when we did it, not that I didn't put as much effort as I always put in it, but I was tired, you know, when we went there that day. And this week I kind of have.
Do you really?
A little bit of my mojo
God,
back.
I don't.
So I'm ready.
I've lost my mojo. It's like, but to be fair, it's been very, very busy. Besides what you guys say, there's other stuff that we've been doing. Like we had 2 meetings today. We're all about the expo, the different. So we got a lot of stuff going on. He makes fun of me all the time, but maybe I'm getting long in the tooth. Maybe I just don't have that extra battery pack anymore. You know?
I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah, well, I'm saying
Maybe.
it, man.
Maybe.
This old girl's getting older, man. She don't have the same mileage that she had before.
Oh, you're going there, Luann? Oh, well.
Oh.
I know you've been talking about doing that.
You're putting your that's really something.
That's really nice. I know you've been talking about that for a while. I hope that goes well. And
will you videotape that, I wonder?
I hear you, Chris. Hey,
right, Susan?
Listen.
I'm older than he is.
The world don't stop. We got to keep going until we can't go.
Well, listen.
That's how
his
life
world
works.
doesn't stop. But when I have to put on the brakes for me,
That's how
the
life
brakes
works.
are going on.
There'll come a time.
And you'll hear them.
There'll come a time when we rest. That ain't that time yet.
Well, I don't want to be put in the box.
I think that was
soon.
a speech on Top Gun or one of those
Yeah,
movies.
well, I don't want to be put in the box too soon. If
I think that was Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
This is not that day.
Oh, my Lord.
So tomorrow, Creeper Gallery. Like I said, if I'm there by myself, I've been there by myself before. I don't mind it by myself. I enjoy going there by myself and seeing what attacks me or what is nice to me or what is. I don't mind it at all. And you know, like I said, I'll bring all the equipment with me. We'll see what's what. I'll pick out 3 different objects. Donna's been really good, so I don't have to kind of follow Donna's list. Sometimes she'll say, could you do that one or do this one? Lately, I've been able to just pick and choose what I want. So tomorrow night, it'll be what's dark.
Yeah, if I don't go, he'll touch the dark
all the
stuff.
dark
So maybe I'll
All
just
the
sit
dark
back
stuff.
on this one then.
Yeah, the auction is Friday. We'll be there Friday for the auction too.
See, it never stops, Laura. It never stops. See? She even knows.
Hey, listen.
No, but it was funny. I planned I joined a yard sale on Saturday for the township, and we were supposed to that night just do an interview, but then it turned into we ended up doing the investigation, what was fine. So he and I were
She's totally wrong about all that already, but yeah, go ahead.
We were going to do a live that night.
The original live was at another location.
Oh, was it?
Yes.
See, okay, so I got it wrong. Anyways, it
This is
doesn't
what
matter.
when you're the one who's scheduling and doing everything,
Well,
this just show up. Just show up.
don't
Must be a
cry.
beautiful world
Kings
when
don't
you
cry.
could just show up.
Kings don't cry.
Must be beautiful.
Kings do not cry.
Thank you.
But yeah, so we literally, it's so funny cleaning it all up for the yard sale and like jumping in the shower and then jumping in the car and taking off for that live. And yet it was still a really good night. I'm not going to say I wasn't tired and beat up after, but it was a really, really good night.
See you in November. Kathy, we're not going to see you before then.
No.
Okay.
Kathy Dykes. She's going to be coming, her and her husband, they travel.
Yeah, but she said see you in November. So
Yep.
she's not going to see us on here before she's bowing out.
Oh.
She's leaving us for good.
She's not.
So yes, we got 5 minutes left here. Let me tell you. So we have the investigation booked, which is an hour and a half from us, and we know it's going to rain, like we've dealt with it. We know traffic and blah blah blah. We know we have to leave at 6 o'clock our time, maybe the latest, and somebody joins this yard sale and has to lug all their crap out and stay out there all day, and then whatever doesn't sell, gotta put all their crap back in containers and put them all back in the basement. This is all before get in the shower, get all of our gear, and head up an hour and a half to the university. Exactly. So this is what I dealt with, and we were tired.
Oh, we were beat up.
We were tired and sore when we got there.
Because I even told him that, you know what? Well, we'll close it up early, and we'll get it. And people were just coming in droves and it just never stopped.
Making that money.
And I give
she
this
didn't care
guy,
about me.
I give this guy all the credit in the world because I didn't. I mean, we were out there at 6 o'clock, 6:30, putting stuff out there, and what was it, like maybe 6:45? People were showing up, and like John was dealing with that.
Somebody brought her lunch. Somebody brought her
breakfast. That's what I was getting ready to say. He knew because he had to leave and go take care of Walter and stuff, and he literally brought me back a cup of coffee and something because he knew I hadn't had any yet, and that I wasn't going to be able to make it if I didn't have my cup of coffee. So he brought me coffee, and he did. He brought me. After when he had to leave again, he brought me back lunch. I mean, he took care of me. He was really good to me.
What do I get for it?
And
what do I get for it?
You had me come help you Saturday night because he even said if you want to bow out, you can. But I couldn't do that to him because he was just as tired. And he literally helped me pack everything.
That was my reward. You coming?
Oh, okay. Okay.
That was my reward. You coming on the investigation?
Oh, you smarty pants.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Listen to this.
Some reward. Thank you.
Okay.
I really.
Mm-hmm. You heard that here, right?
I owe you big. Wow. Thank you for that.
Well, I don't know anymore, Laura. I don't know if he's a keeper.
Anyway, New Jersey Paranormal merchandise is available at the shop. I mentioned December. I posted that December to remember thing. We do have one event definitely scheduled for the first week of December. And I'll tell you now because it's no big secret that I can announce it. We're going back to the Hoover House in Waynesboro, PA, which is 20 minutes away from Gettysburg. We're going to be there the same weekend that Gettysburg is having their holiday jubilation. Where they
December 2nd?
Yeah. Where they have the tree, they have all festivities and stuff going on downtown. I love going there. We go there every year, that time of the year. So we figure let's combine it. Let's hang out with whoever wants to come with us in a haunted bed and breakfast. We'll do a ghost hunt. Cody Satori will be there with us again. And whoever wants to come, there'll be rooms available that you could stay at the Hoover House. There'll be a discounted rate, probably at the hotel down the road at the Cobblestone. But just telling you now that'll be the Friday and Saturday.
Okay, your luggage.
December, first weekend in December. So if that's something you want to do, you might want to think about that now and maybe contact. Yeah.
Tickets are available?
I mean, oh yeah, we can start selling them at any time. But if you want a room, you got to book that through the Hoover House, Pam and Steve Barry.
Well, I think we have to set it up because Pam was talking to us about that. We got to get it all organized together.
sure they can reserve
But
the room.
Laura,
So.
John is a really good guy. You're very correct on that.
And the other one that we're working on is we're waiting on confirmation, because this will be a bigger one for sure, with somebody that you all hopefully know, if we can work it out. And it'll be around the holidays. It'll be kind of mid-December-ish, and it'll be very, very cool to have those two events end the year for New Jersey Paranormal.
Yeah.
And it'll be, again, our kind of way to spend the holidays with you and give you something really, really cool to go out with a bang. Because let's face it, man, like she said, we're not getting any younger. So every year we do this, we kind of finish the year, we reevaluate, we reassess, and we say, do we really want to do all of that again?
And John goes, we're going to slow down. And then
well,
before
January,
you know it, boom, boom, boom,
hey,
boom,
Sally.
boom.
In January, my mindset in January is shut it down, just do live streams, maybe do a couple of live investigations, and that's it. Knowing that full well, come February, March, people are going to start reaching out saying, hey, are you coming back? Are you coming back? Are you coming back?
And they did.
And that's when the calendar starts going.
Because John does not know how to say no.
Sure I do.
To me.
That's all I have to know is say no to you. But yeah, anyway, so look, again, the Hoover House is a definite that first weekend in December. This other thing, maybe the 19th, somewhere around there, or the 9th of December. And hopefully we can announce that. I'm hoping.
And so they were asking about, are we
next
doing
week or
anything
two.
at the college? Centenary.
Yeah, those have been, only one hasn't been announced yet. That one in October, and I mentioned this one before. We haven't announced the tickets for it yet, but that will be the Andrea Perrin lecture from the Conjuring House. She was actually one of the people that actually lived in the building with her sisters and her parents in the real Conjuring House. She'll be doing a lecture during the day, I believe at 3:00, and then the night is the ghost hunt with us.
That's going to be really cool.
And that'll be the Halloween weekend. So lots going on. This year is going to go by in a blink. I know it will. And we're going to try to enjoy it. But the expo is really, even though we're 7 months away, oh my God, the things that are going on with that, we're just working on. So lots going on. Anyway, tomorrow night, Creeper Gallery, yours truly. Join me. Watch me get possessed. Should be fun. Everything dark item I could find in that building, I'm going to investigate tomorrow night. That's a promise. All right, guys. From your friends at NJP, I bid you a good night.
Stay healthy. Be safe. Please be kind. Good night, everybody.
Boom, 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 boom.